Welcome to the Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I am your host, Mindy Wonder-Querio, and I'm a small town go-to girl next door who is obsessed with helping others see more for themselves so they can thrive in all areas of life. I love researching all the things like wellness, mindset, relationships, you name it. If I'm obsessed with it, I get hyper-focused on it and I research the crap out of it, and then I share it with you. If those are things that you're also obsessed with, then keep listening and let's become new best friends. Welcome back, you guys. Reminder, we are on a hyper-focus deep dive right now about perimenopause. I am 41 years old, so that is what has inspired this, is that for the last couple years, I have been like gaslighting myself, like, am I or aren't I? And all these things. And I was just like, well, it can't be because I'm not having these major things and there's no way. And like a test may have shown this or whatever. So we're going to do a deep dive on this. I think that every woman, not every man. So if you're a dude, maybe this series would be one that I would just skip. Mostly women listen to this podcast anyway, not really worried. I just feel like if you're a woman over 35, let's listen to this series. Knowledge is power. And there were so many things online about perimenopause. And I was like, skip, because I wasn't there yet. Now, I wish that I would have listened to my gut, or like every time it was like in front of my face that I would say, hey, I'm just going to tune in. I'm just going to research. I'm just going to learn more about this to prepare myself, because I think that it's really important to get ahead of it. Okay. If you have been walking around thinking, why am I so tired? Why am I so crabby or irritable? Why do I not feel like myself? Why is my brain fog so heavy? You aren't crazy. Okay. You are not broken. You are not crazy, and you are not failing. This could be, and probably is, perimenopause, okay? And we are finally going to do a deep dive and figure it out and talk about it. For me, and you guys probably heard my last episode, if not, go back. For me, it started slowly. I didn't even recognize it at first. I just felt off. I didn't feel like myself. I gaslit myself. I felt like someone turned, I don't know how to explain it. Like, just made me, I was feeling off with my personality, my moods, my sleep was changing, my motivation. I have ADHD and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm very ambitious. I'm a go-getter. And like I get hyper-focused on something and like look out. I just couldn't get my motivation back. My motivation has changed. Even like working out. I've been working out and my career was surrounded by wellness and fitness for the last 16 years. And I was off on my workouts. Like I didn't feel like I wasn't myself. At first I did what most women do. You probably did this too. You blame yourself, you gaslight yourself, you blame stress, you blame life. And I just told myself that I needed to push harder. Just keep go. Quit, suck it up. That's what I would tell myself. Suck it up. You can do this, which I did. But at some point, something in me was just like, no, this isn't just stress. This isn't just motherhood. This isn't just aging. Something was shifting in my body and I wanted to understand it. So that's where I am. That's what brought us here today. And because I have ADHD, once I start learning something, I go all in. I go down a rabbit hole. I get in a hyper-focus, deep dive of researching, listening, reading, asking questions, obsessed, okay? And the more I learned, the more shocked I was that nobody is really talking about this. Nobody's teaching women, not nobody, but I wasn't seeing it from just like a couple people. Like if you go to your doctor and say these things, you're just dismissed or whatever. And we are just walking into perimenopause kind of blind. That's how I felt. So let's break it down in a simple way that actually makes sense, because that's how my brain works. And if you're listening to this podcast, you probably click with me. So you're the same. Perimenopause is not menopause, okay? Menopause is just a day. It's just one day. Perimenopause is a hormonal transition leading up to the day, menopause. And it can last anywhere from 5 to 10 years. And I'm going to go into this in more detail in an episode to come, but here's what's actually happening inside your body during perimenopause, in case nobody has ever explained it in plain English to you, because I needed somebody to explain it in plain English to me. So I got you. Estrogen becomes unpredictable. Some days it's high, some days it's low, and your mood and energy will swing. I'm swinging, you guys can't see me, but I'm swinging kind of like a pendulum, Your mood and energy will swing with it. Progesterone slowly declines over time, which is why your anxiety, your irritability, sleep issues get louder for you. And then testosterone, which is responsible for your strength, drive, motivation, can also drop and fluctuate. So these shifts hit your brain, your metabolism, your stress response, and your emotional regulation. So when you feel like a different version of yourself, it's not just in your head. It's literally, it's the chemistry of your body changing. And nobody prepares us for this. Your labs will come back, quote unquote, normal, even when your symptoms are like alarming. And you're like, no, that can't be right. That's what happened to me. I'm like, but my cycles were off. If you listen to the episode before this one, my cycles were actually off. That doesn't always happen, because I don't know that I would have went and got like a full hormone panel and like all this stuff done if my cycles weren't off, because I always had very normal, I don't know what's normal, but to me it was normal, right? Normal cycles. And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, 10 days of PMS, cycles were crazy, like all of these things were happening. So that's what led me to go get my labs, and my labs came back normal. Okay, even though I had all these symptoms, because labs are just showing a snapshot. So if you have been in my shoes, labs are just going to show a snapshot. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go get them though. And by the way, I'm not a doctor. I'm just an obsessed woman going through this, talking to hundreds of other women who are going through real life changes, sharing real life experiences. Have you ever been in one of those Facebook groups where I have 2 kids on the spectrum, so I'm in tons of Facebook groups when it comes to autism. And I'm like, okay, I listen to my doctor for sure, and I trust my natural doctors, autism specialists for sure. But I'm in that group asking moms who are living it, going through it. That's exactly what I'm doing with perimenopause. So you're going to see all these people say all these things online, right? And I'm listening, and I'm reading the books, and I'm listening to the podcasts, and I'm researching this stuff. But I'm at the same time, I'm talking to women who are actually going through it. Okay. A lot of their labs will show like they're normal because it's just a snapshot. Okay. They don't show the roller coaster that's happening throughout the month, because the labs are just getting your hormone. Let's just say you get a full hormonal panel. It's only showing your estrogen level on that day, which is okay. You still want to do that. I'm not trying to tell you not to do that, but I'm just saying if you get your labs back and they show normal, don't think you're crazy, and don't allow a physician to tell you you're crazy. And because most doctors are not trained in female hormone patterns, and this is not knocking any doctors whatsoever, they are going off of the education that they went to school for, and they're just not trained on this. You have to go get additional training on perimenopause and menopause. They're not trained on the female hormone patterns. You just get told, like, your doctor might just tell you things like, just manage your stress, everything looks fine, you're good. Meanwhile, your personality feels like, hi, bye, I left the building, I'm not ambitious, I'm crazy, I'm crabby, I'm depressed, I have anxiety, I have joint pain, like all of these things are happening. So let's actually talk about that. Let's talk about your symptoms. These are the things we as women are blaming ourselves for, but we shouldn't be blaming ourselves. We shouldn't be gaslighting ourselves, because they're actually hormone issues. So things like irritability, crabbiness, moodiness that you just can't explain. Waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning for absolutely no reason. Been there? Because same. Like the fatigue that you have on a day-to-day basis could be almost like crushing or debilitating. Anxiety that you never had before. Even if you've had anxiety before, okay, it's worse, and for no reason. Very low motivation, feeling disconnected from yourself and maybe even others and your loved ones, crying easily, brain fog. Did you guys listen to the last episode when I told you that I forgot the last 4 digits of my social security number a couple weeks ago? And my face got hot and I started to sweat. I'm like, seriously, because I'm like, are they going to think that I'm like, what's it called? Like stealing somebody's identity? because they're going to be like, wait, you don't know your last 4 digits? Are you crazy? Like, no, actually, I might be in perimenopause. Okay. That's my excuse. Night sweats. I don't have night sweats yet. You might though. Not everyone's symptoms are going to be the same. And then weight gain, even when nothing has changed. And there's so many more. This is just some of those things. I'm trying to brainstorm some of the women that that I'm talking to in these groups. Some of the things they were saying, I'm like, oh, I've never heard that before, you know? And it's good to know this stuff, even if you're not in perimenopause yet, or you're not experiencing these yet, because remember, it's a 5 to 10 year transition to the one day of menopause. And so we might run into these symptoms and we might not. We might, but we might not. But it's good to just know. So then when that happens, you can identify it, document it, and know, okay, this is probably just part of but you're not freaking out like, what's wrong with me? This stuff is not made up. Okay. This is biology. So what do we want to do about it? First, you have to understand what actually is happening. That's what I told myself. Okay, first I need to learn. I need to understand what's happening because awareness matters for me. I don't know if you're like this. Tell me if you're like this, but like if somebody's like a doctor, a natural doctor says, hey, you should take this supplement, and they give me this supplement, there's a good chance if I don't have put knowledge behind it, like what is this supplement? What is it doing for me? Like, why do I need it? I need to know that stuff. Otherwise, I'm more than likely, I don't need this. But when I have that understanding of what is actually happening, like what the supplement will do for me and all that stuff, the same thing is how I am with this. I wanted to first start off with understanding what's actually happening to me because awareness matters, and it does for you too. Because once you can name it, you can address it. Like if we're just brushing it under the rug saying, I don't know, I just don't feel like myself, but I don't really know what that means. We need to actually put a name to these symptoms and like document what we're feeling. Okay. Then you can start supporting your nervous system. You can stabilize your blood sugar. We can reduce the inflammation that makes these symptoms even worse. We can support detox pathways because your liver is working overtime during this transition. And here is the part that most women never, at least for me, I never heard this when I was just started dabbling in all of this. Your body actually needs more support during the stage than you did in your 20s. This isn't, oh my gosh, this was like, mic drop information or anything like this. Obviously, that's kind of common sense. But again, once that I was thinking that I could get away with continually doing the same things I did in my 20s and 30s. I could just copy and paste that into my 40s, obviously tweaking some things. Like I've learned strength train, in my 20s, I was doing a workout called Turbo Jam, Turbo Kick, Turbo Fire, which is high cardio kickboxing. It was so fun. The music was great, and I also was doing some strength training, but I was obsessed with cardio. Have you guys ever been there? I think if we're kind of like in the same around the same age, you may have went through that stage too. And then you learn, I need to build strength. Muscle burns fat. Like this is what we need. And we want like strong bodies and all this stuff. So I'm not saying that I didn't learn, adjust, tweak some things from 20s to 30s and now to 40s. But I didn't actually know that my body needed so much more support during this stage. You know what I mean? So things like vitamin D, anti-inflammatory nutrients like turmeric, liver support like glutathione for detoxification, which side note, I have the MTHFR mutation, which I think 50% or more of the population has this gene mutation. The only reason I found out about it is because my daughter Lily has autism. We did some genetic testing with her. We found out she had it. So then I decided, you know what? I am going to test. I'm going to figure out. I want to do a genetic testing, genetic testing to see if I have it. And I did. So that just means that you don't methylate things properly, don't detox properly. And glutathione is our body's master antioxidant. And we need that, especially people with the MTHFR mutation. I just tell people, let's just pretend you have it because genetic testing is very pricey and it doesn't hurt to treat yourself as if you have it and support your liver and detox pathways and all these things. Like, what does it hurt? Getting methylated B12 instead of just B12 because you don't methylate certain things properly, or like instead of taking folic acid, take folate. There's just things that we could do, and that's like a whole nother topic. But especially when you're going through perimenopause with the MTHFR mutation, as we're aging, we need glutathione more than ever for detoxification. We need pre and probiotics because your gut is getting hit hard during perimenopause. We need electrolytes for energy, hydration, protein in the morning to see. I'm sure you're seeing this all over the place if you're like over 35, protein in the morning to stabilize your cortisol, right? Have you heard of this? 30 grams of protein, all of these things. And it gives you steady energy instead of that mid-morning crash. And I was like so hesitant. I'm like, I don't need that, because I was doing, maybe raise your hand if you were like me, doing intermittent fasting, and that worked so great for you. Okay, I'm raising my hand. I know you can't see me because I'm not doing video today because I look like a hot mess, but I did that and it worked so good. So I'm like, when I started hearing this stuff, age 36, 37, I start hearing this stuff. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I do intermittent fasting. Now I realize, see, again, knowledge is power for my ADHD brain. I have to know why. I need to have knowledge of why. I need to test it out, and then I'll talk about it. So now I have done multiple different groups helping women give this knowledge, educating women on the importance of protein intake, 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up, and all this stuff, because if you do it in the morning, it does stabilize your blood sugar and cortisol levels and gives you that steady energy. There are women who choose HRT. I am a huge fan of HRT. I want to be clear. I made a post yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw it or if you follow me on Facebook, and there was some person on my Facebook that just commented, actually, this and this and this. I was like, dude, did you not read the post? I'm not saying I'm against HRT, but I also believe in supporting our bodies and taking natural approaches as well, which HRT is a bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. So all that is, it's like what your body's already. So we have estrogen, we have testosterone, we have progesterone, we have those things. And then we start to, as we go through perimenopause, those levels start to go down. And so that's all bioidentical HRT is. So there's nothing to be scared of. I'm a huge fan of that. But what I'm saying, there are natural approaches. And even, I don't care if you're on HRT, I don't care if you're on a GLP-1, all of these things, your body needs support. So there are ways that you can combine HRT, natural supplements that are going to support your body. The point of this episode is not to tell you what to do, by the way. The point is to tell you that you have options and you deserve to understand. Here's something that maybe you don't know about me, but this is something ever since my daughter was diagnosed with autism, and I won't go into the full detail of that story, but basically I knew something was off, and I would go in, I just would say, I don't know about this and I don't know about that. And the doctor was like, no, this is correct, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, okay, because the doctor is so much smarter than me. And the doctor knows all of these things, but the doctor doesn't know my kid. And the doctor doesn't have my same intuition. And the doctor isn't living with us, seeing my child every single day, and the things that I was bringing up to him and the concerns that I had. And so I just was, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but I was a sheep. I was a sheep. I listened to whatever my pediatrician told me, and I gave away my parenting power, and all of my power I gave to this doctor that doesn't even know my child. And so even though I'm sharing all these concerns with him and saying all these things, and then even after she was diagnosed, I said, okay, well, I've been doing some research. What about the gluten and dairy-free diet? Nope, dismissed. Well, what about this therapy? Nope, dismissed. What about this supplement? Nope, dismissed. Tell me what to do, because I will do it. I know there's ways, and I've seen all these stories online of children getting better, healing completely, transforming their lives and restoring. I was dismissed. And it was just like, no, 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 no. And I was told that your daughter will probably never speak again. And if she does speak again, she will only get the words that she once had back, because she had a couple words, she had a handful of words, whatever the amount of words were, and then she went silent. And within 2 weeks, I listened to that. And I sat in my bed and cried and got out to do what I had to do as a mom and all the things. But then I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to listen to this man who doesn't even know my child. I'm going to do my own research, and he might be right. I really thought that he might be right. He might be right, but I am not going to listen to him. I'm going to do my own research and stop being a sheep. So I did that. And I read all the books, all the articles, got in the mom groups, talked to a bunch of other moms going through this. And guess what? I got her on some supplements. I found a specialist. I started her on the gluten and dairy-free diet. And just the diet alone. Oh, and I removed all environmental toxins from her, not all, but I removed the cleaning supplies, the laundry soap, like all of the fragrances, shampoos, lotions, any food. I got rid of everything in my house to reduce environmental toxins, because I learned that played a huge role too. Within 2 weeks of reducing environmental toxins, starting her on the gluten and dairy-free diet, she started to talk in 2 weeks. She started to get her words back and new words. So I am here to tell you not what to do, but I am here to tell you to not be a sheep. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to the one doctor. Don't listen to the negative people in the comment section on Facebook or on social media. Do your own research and decide for yourself, okay? There is a real culture shift happening right now around women and hormones. Women are finally, they've had it. They've literally had it. They're tired of struggling silently. They're tired of being dismissed. We are tired of not getting answers. And once we start talking about it, we realize every single woman around us is going through the same freaking thing. It's wild, which is why I'm sharing so much on this topic in my stories, on the podcast here, in my posts. I'm going to keep bringing it up. I'm going to keep bringing it up and bringing it to you, what I'm learning, because I want this to feel simple. I want it to feel doable, and you don't need another complicated protocol. You need clarity. You need support. You need to feel seen. You need to know you're not broken, and you need somebody saying, hey, you're not crazy. This is real, and here's what we can do about it. If you want the links to any of the hormone supportive supplements that I use, I talk about the routine supplement stack that I use. It's every morning. It's a packet that has electrolytes, pre and probiotic, and glutathione, that master antioxidant, all in one. That's in one packet. I drink that every single day with pure marine collagen peptides. And then I have my morning supplement that has vitamin D3. We talked about that. It has turmeric to reduce inflammation. It's really good, solid, and it's all non-toxic. And the biggest thing is it's third-party tested. And by the way, I don't even care if you buy it from me or not. I don't care. I do have a discount link. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll put all of this in the show notes. But what I do care is that you do your own research and you make sure whatever supplements you're taking, that they are third-party tested. They're non-toxic. These supplements I trust, they don't have crap in it. They don't have heavy metals. That's all been tested, third-party tested. Make sure you share this. Message me on Instagram if you have any questions. Make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you'll be notified every time I do a new episode, because this conversation isn't done. I'm down the rabbit hole, baby. And you're coming with me, whether you like it or not. So I will talk to you next time. Have a good day. We are kicking off the Longevity Project in January, and you're invited. It's fitness, protein, hormone support, and real accountability all in one place. You're going to get an anti-inflammatory meal plan, education, recipes, strength and mobility workouts, and the support to actually follow through. If you want to feel strong, energized, and balanced going into the new year, check the link in the show notes so you can join us. Seriously, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Obsessed or Not Interested podcast. I love connecting with you on social media. So if you guys want, please shoot me a DM at either our podcast Instagram, which is at Obsessed or Not Interested, or even my personal Instagram, which is at Mindy Wender. I check them both, so either is fine. Oh, and truly, if this has helped you even 1%, if you could do me a huge solid and leave me a rating and review, that would mean the world to me. When you guys do that, here's why I really love it. It's because it helps the podcast be able to reach more women who want and need this. So truly, that is like the best compliment you could ever give me, is just leaving ratings and reviews for this podcast. Anything that I talked about in today's episode, any links or resources, you will find that in the show notes. Thank you for listening to today. Can't wait to chat more in the DMs, and don't forget to tune in next Tuesday.